Hey, welcome back, guys. In this video, we're going to talk about similar triangles. In similar triangles, corresponding angles are congruent. So my suggestion is write this down in your notebook. It's definitely heavily tested. The corresponding sides are proportional. I will explain what all of this means. So because they're proportional, you can use a proportion to solve for missing side lengths. All right, so let's talk about corresponding. So the bottom of the large triangle is 27. The bottom of the small triangle, the dimensions is 9. This bottom on the large triangle corresponds to the bottom on the small triangle. The left side corresponds to the left side on the small triangle. So I'm trying to just use basic vocabulary. I want you to understand that corresponding means in the same location. So that's the longest side of my triangle. And so obviously those sides correspond. All right, so when it says you could set up a proportion, let's get started with that. So I like to give my triangle's name if it doesn't have it, large and small. The values from my large triangle can only go on the table on the large side. Well, that would be x, which is your unknown, and then 27. Now, x corresponds to 5, so that means the 5 will go here, and then 9 goes here. So you can only start where there's two numbers, so you can go this direction, meaning 5 to x, which you don't know, and then 9 to 27. Or if you wanted, you could go 5 to 9 and then figure out how they're related and then use that ratio. It's easiest to go from 9 to 27. 9 times 3 is 27, so you're scaled by 3, meaning you would scale 5 by 3, and x is equal to 15. The only time I see kids make a mistake is they write x as 3. They know they're supposed to multiply it by 3, but they don't. All right, so this one tends to be kids' most problem-sum. So there are two triangles. I'm going to trace the large one in pink. And so I have to kind of think of it turned. Right now, I'm going to turn it 90 degrees. So that means this value on the bottom will be x, which I'm going to write right here. The left side of the large triangle, or the height, is this distance, which is not 6, it's not 4, it's actually 10. Okay, now you're going to draw your small triangle. So I always recommend to separate it. There's a small triangle inside the large triangle. So the bottom or the base of my small triangle is 3. And then the height or the left side of my small triangle is 6. So 10 corresponds to 6. And x corresponds to 3. And to set up my proportion, I'm going to call this my large triangle, and this is my small. Now, obviously, that's not the technical term, but I'm just trying to get you how to set a proportion and solve for your unknown. So the only values that can be on the left side that correlate with the large triangle, which would be 10, and x, and order matters. I can't put 3 next to 10 because those aren't corresponding sides. I'm going to use 6 and then I'm going to use 3. Now, remember, you can start from 6 to 10 or 6 to 3. I see a better relationship. 6 becomes 3 by timesing it by half or dividing by 2. Whatever you do to one side, you'll do to the other. So x equals 5. If you want to double check yourself, you could just check your cross products. Okay, let me tell you what that means. So x became, that value of x is 5. So 5 times 6 is 30. 10 times 3 is 30. Because they're equal, then I know I did it right. All right, let's look at the last one. Now, it says Sarah used the shadow to measure the height of the school. Sarah is 5 feet tall, cast a shadow 3 feet long. If the school cast a shadow that's 27 feet long, how tall is the school? All right, so I'm still going to set up a proportion. Instead, I'm going to use Sarah and then the school. Now we're talking height and shadow. So what's the height of Sarah? She's 5 feet, and she cast a shadow that's 3. Okay, this is not the only way you can set it up. I could do Sarah and then school and then height and shadow, vertical. It's up to you. So now I want to know what's the height of the school. Well, it didn't give us that, so that is our unknown. But we know the shadow is 27. So you're either going to go from 3 to 5. That's a relationship. I wouldn't recommend it. I say go to 3 to 27. 3 scaled by 9 gives me 27, meaning I am going to scale 5 by 9. And then that means x is equal to 45. All right, well, I hope this helped. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe.